Look at them. There's a whole bunch of them in there. They're up. They're up. Look at them. Yeah. He's huge. Wow. Where's its head? Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Out there.
So something like the Savannah monitor, for instance, would never survive anywhere that was temperate.
Look at that thing.
Boa constrictors, the same thing. They would never survive in a temperate zone.
Let's say what about like places
Wow.
like the desert, like in North America.
Yeah, they can survive there.
Yeah, he's sleeping. For sure.
As you can see, very, very calm. Do they make great pets? Absolutely they do. But again, when they're babies, they will terrorize you. They will bite you, they will tail whip you, and their tail whip hurts. It really does. It can draw blood, actually. And, but luckily, as they grow older, they become more trusting. Javier here is in his 20s, so he's been around humans a very long time. One of the reasons why we got him is because the zoo that we got him from was attempting to captive breed them to relieve pressure on the wild, but they ended up with 2 males. So, so much for the breeding program, and we ended up with 1. We prefer dragon. Most of you have probably seen videos of these guys and how they've got these frills up the side of their head. He doesn't like when I touch them. He's got these frills on the side of his head that he can puff up when he is angry or trying to look scary. And he can actually run on his back 2 feet. So when he's either chasing prey or running away from a predator, he puffs up his frill and starts running on his hind 2 legs, and it's just hilarious to watch. These guys live primarily in trees. They feed on insects. The reason why I'm holding them upright like this instead of horizontal is because this is how they are in the wild. They'll always be on the side of a tree with their body in a vertical position. This is how they prefer, this is how they feel safe. So many species of lizard have dragon-like characteristics, so we call them dragons. Most of you have heard of the bearded dragon, I'm sure. They have very dragon-like characteristics. We also have a Chinese water dragon over there, also a very dragon-like animal. These guys, the frilled lizard is native to Australia and Papua New Guinea. And we named him Dilo after the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park. Some of you might remember that. They had a lizard that's not only puffed up like a frilled lizard, but spit venom. This guy doesn't spit venom, thankfully. They are vicious. They will bite. They will tail whip. They will lunge at you. They will do everything in their power to get you to leave them alone. And you need to be an experienced keeper to be able to, take the punishment that they're going to dole out to you and work with them patiently and with kindness and with love so that they get to be like this, where you can trust them, you can handle them, and Just kidding, no squirting. But you can trust and handle them. So yeah, experienced keepers only. These guys also require exorbitant amounts of space. A fully grown lizard requires, one of these lizards requires a bedroom-sized enclosure. So if you're not able to provide that, maybe this isn't the best pet lizard for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. So we just gave him some chicken liver earlier that he gobbled right up. We give beef heart, chicken heart, raw chicken, raw turkey. But in the wild, one of their absolute favorite things is eggs. So they know how to climb trees and find bird eggs. They also know how to find and dig up turtle eggs. They know how to find other monitor lizard eggs. And these guys are extremely smart. One of the smartest, not even pet lizards, but just one of the smartest lizards out there, monitor lizards. Now, everybody's heard of the Komodo dragon, right? Same family, different species. But these guys, like I cannot emphasize enough, are for experience. All right. So this is Grim, short for Grimlock. This is a black-throated monitor lizard. These guys are one of 5 African monitor lizard species. Monitor lizards are also found in Asia and Australia. These guys are among the biggest, but this is also the largest lizard that you are legally allowed to own in Alberta. This guy is not fully grown. They get to be 7 feet long and can weigh 60 pounds. They're also very long-lived. They can live for 60 years. This guy, trading off animals here. So this is Goodhold. Goodhold is a 15-year-old boa constrictor, and you might be asking yourself, what does that have to do with dragons? Well, in Asian culture, dragons are often portrayed in a very serpentine fashion. Sometimes they're portrayed with 2 legs, sometimes they're portrayed with 0 legs. What I would like right now, before I finish talking about Goodhold, is some brave volunteers from the audience to come up and hold them. Yeah, right there. You? Yeah. You? You? Just to give you an idea of how big this guy is, I mean, they're just such an impressive size. So it does not get much more dragon-like than this, does it? You look at his spines on his back, the huge claws, the jowls, the spikes on his jaw. I don't know if you can see this, but he's got red eyes, which I think is just the coolest thing in the world. These guys, believe it or not, get to be this size as herbivores. They do not eat animal protein at all. This is an iguana, so they are strictly herbivores. This is one of the largest iguanas in the world. There are 35 species of iguana. You know, a lot of people, when you hear iguana, you think of the green iguana, which, of course, is the most common. Like I said, it's also one of the most surrendered and rescued pets out there. This guy is one of 4 in Canada. That's how rare these guys are. You can only get them if you're an accredited zoo, which is how we came about it. Not that we're an accredited zoo, but we got him from an accredited zoo. They're illegal to import. They're legal to own, but illegal to import. So it's kind of one of those things where Fish and Wildlife teases you and says, well, if you can find one, go nuts. But you're never going to be able to import one of these. In the wild, their closest cousin, these guys are from Cuba, from the Cayman Islands, is the Cayman blue iguana, which is listed as critically endangered. They're bordering on extinction, as a matter of fact, due to habitat loss. A lot of people and a lot of organizations like to blame the pet trade for reptile extinctions. The pet trade is not responsible. Habitat loss is the #1 reason why these guys end up going extinct. The Cuban rock iguana is a success story, though. The Cuban government did enact laws to protect these guys, and their populations actually bounced back. So much so that they went from endangered and they got upgraded to threatened. That is a beautiful success story, because usually when you hear about endangered species, it only goes one way. They go from endangered to critically endangered to extinct. So the fact that these guys have such a success story, I think is a really beautiful thing, and I think it shows that conservation does work. Conservation efforts do work, because these guys have bounced back in their population. So, is there another brave volunteer from the audience that wants to hold him? How about you in the SL shirt there? Yeah, come on up.